Juno's home is not as sacred or as secure as they'd like to believe.
Ants.
Suddenly they're all in the kitchen.
I would get the gloves on, get out this spray bottle, and wipe up and clean up just to kind of stop the stream of ants.
Meanwhile, the ants begin to get into everything, turning up in the most surprising places. The wine glass was populated with ants. That made me realize that we were in a battle. A battle that quickly escalates to a full-scale takeover of the kitchen.
Ants.
And as the numbers swell into the millions, the Juno family begins to realize they're dealing with an unusual kind of enemy. These invaders are no ordinary ants. I didn't know the ants were capable of numbers like that. You do feel like you are under siege, so what are you willing to do to win this war? At Tammy Adams's Oregon home, danger has come indoors. With her son John and fiancé Kevin, she's trapped in a house that's been hijacked by spiders. And they're living up to their aggressive reputation. It's just a month until Tammy and Kevin get married, but all they can think about are spiders. Contract. The exterminator can't offer a practical solution, and the hobo spiders find their shady home irresistible.
They just wouldn't quit coming in. We all began to get very paranoid.
And the sense of paranoia is justified.
I woke up one morning, just something didn't feel right. And there was a spider in there, and I was jumping around. It was so disgusting that it was inside my bed while I was asleep. Got in the shower, and I looked down, and there's a red spot with a dot in the middle. By the following day, the redness had grown about as big around as a golf ball. I almost could feel it getting through the tissue. I would say this is one of the worst spider bites that I've seen. It looked like a big, red, hot abscess, probably about the size of a mango. And the amount of pus that came out was about hot.
An infection as bad as Tammy's can be extremely dangerous.
Tammy's situation was an emergency. She could have gotten very sick from this abscess if it were allowed to progress.
It was horrific. I mean, it got to this point where I was literally thinking, if they can't figure this out, and she dies, I don't know what the heck. It takes over a month for Tammy to recover.
Spiders.
The infestation is dominating every aspect of their lives.
I still got married, and I still, am with Kevin, and we still love each other. But it ruined that part of my life. I mean, it was a really horrendous thing to go through.
The house was perfect, but the spiders too much.
That's a bat.
They pulled together enough money to pack up and abandon their home to the menacing squatters, moving somewhere that won't attract them.
No deck, no trees. I just didn't want to have any part of that same type of terrain around the house at all.
The spiders had won.
You can't live in a house and look over your shoulder. It's one place where you shouldn't have to be looking over your shoulder.
When Ben and Amber Sessions moved to the country, they wanted their boys to learn the value of nature. But this wasn't what they had in mind. Their yard is infested with garter snakes.
Catching that man one day is not normal.
Snakes.
It just kept escalating.
In a single day, Ben catches over 40. After catching bucket loads of snakes, Ben's hands are covered in a now familiar stench.
His son.
A quick search online reveals how garter snakes produce this distinctive odor.
If a garter snake is scared, it'll emit this musk. The idea is if I can get some of this musk smeared all over the face of my predator, maybe get some in his mouth, it'll spit me out. It smells pretty bad.
Ben and Amber are certain that their water supply has been tainted with the same odor.
Been showering in this. It's terrible. I mean, everything you do in your home is with water.
What is the impact?
I feel like our family was falling apart.
But just as the family reached their limit, something strange happens. The snakes disappear from the yard. And the Sessions finally get some rest. But the relief is short-lived.
I lay down hoping to get some sleep. And it just was far from that. It was like a chalkboard when someone scrapes their nail. Just a gross feeling inside that noise gave me.
You could just hear them. So they would have to live in the walls, like inside our house.
Ben gets up early, determined to assess the extent of the infestation.
I got my drill out and removed some of the siding. Put my gloves on thinking this could be nice. And then I pulled that siding part off. Those fell. And they immediately were slithering back under the foundation.
We just knew that this is a huge problem.
Fearing the snakes could be congregating somewhere inside, Ben inspects the crawl space under the house.
I didn't want to do it. The only reason I did it was to see what I could find. I had the military crawl across the dirt. The feeling of being under there. I was scared to death inside.
As Ben goes further in, the stench of snake gets stronger.
Where I was in the crawl space, it was big time. They were crisscrossing everywhere. There's enough snake holes under the house that they had to be under the ground. It was obvious that we were living right on top of them.
Below the crawl space, within the foundation of the house, lies a massive snake den, a hibernacula. The Sessions have paid good money to live on top of it.
We knew then that seriously was a problem.
Some critters seem so insignificant they can blindside their victims. The fast Tom and Janet call an exterminator. The pipelines are drawn with pesticides around the perimeter of the house.